Tonight, President Trump set to announce his Supreme Court Justice nominee. It'll be on primetime television.
The president says he's narrowed his list. WBIR 10 News anchor Heather Wallaga joins us with what we know about the president's potential pick. Good morning.
Abby and Russell, good morning to you. We know 4 conservative candidates are expected to be finalists, and any of them would help President Trump reshape the Supreme Court.
This person will do a great job, but I'm very close to making a decision. Have not made it official yet, obviously. Have not made it final, but we're very close to making a decision.
This will be President Trump's second Supreme Court nomination. The nomination comes after Justice Anthony Kennedy announced his retirement. Kennedy was a critical swing vote in key cases on immigration, abortion, and gay rights. The president's choice is expected to shift the court to be more conservative and potentially overturn Roe v. Wade, which gives women the right to an abortion. Here's a look at the expected finalists. Brett Kavanaugh and Raymond Kethledge are 2 of Justice Kennedy's former clerks. Kavanaugh also has political experience as a top aide to former President George W. Bush. Amy Coney Barrett is considered a favorite among religious conservatives because she's a devout Catholic. And then there's Thomas Hardiman, who was in the final 2 when the president chose Neil Gorsuch last year. Democrats want to delay a vote on a nominee until after the November midterm elections, but Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is promising a vote before that. And you can watch special primetime coverage of President Trump's announcement. That's beginning at 9 p.m. right here on Channel 10.